All right, part 3. Everything's going smooth, I think, so far.
All right.
Hopefully it stays that way.
Yeah.
All right, who's up? You or me?
Okay, 15. I think it's me. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know that you can return a big game tag in Nevada for any reason up to 1 business day before the hunt starts?
Yes, I do know that.
I did know that too. Yep.
If you check alternate on your application, that has to be, like, a tag has to be returned within 14 business days for it to go to an alternate.
Yes.
That's why they started the first come, first serve.
Yep.
There were a lot of tags that weren't getting used because a lot of people would turn them in for that 14 day, or there were no alternates. And to be an alternate, it's only on your first choice.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep, we covered this in the first video.
Mm-hmm. So, I did know that. It's a great thing. Now, you do have to decide when you return. When you return a tag, you can have money back or you can have your points back, but you can't have both.
Can't have both.
So if you got a lot of points, it's better to, just eat the money.
Just eat the money. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you have no points, just take the money.
Yeah. So yes, I did.
There was one other thing I think NDOW will even give you a point for that year if you return your tag. But I got to double check that. Don't quote me on it.
I'm not sure either.
I'm not sure on that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Right
question 16. Which of the following best describes your familiarity with NDOW's first come, first serve tag program? I've received a tag through first come, first serve. I've tried to get a tag through first come, first serve, but have been unsuccessful. I'm familiar with first come, first serve, but have never tried to get a tag through it. I'm not familiar. I'm not sure. I'm very familiar with it.
I am familiar, but I have yet to score a tag.
Yeah, it's one of those things, man. It's like, it's up. You got to click on it. You have to be reading it while you're moving your finger to click on it.
Yeah.
They go that quick.
Yep, and I think you have, the first year they had it, you couldn't bow out of it. Now it's a 5-minute. Is it a 5-minute window for you to look at what the area is?
All right, so the first year they did it, there were a lot of people that would add it to cart.
Yes, yep.
Then they'd figure out like the unit it was, and then decide, to return the tag, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then they could get right back in and start picking up tags again.
Oh, now it's a
And then the next year they made it to where it's like once you pick up a tag, you're out for 7 days.
Oh, it's 7 days.
I think it's 7 days. So, and you can't pick up a tag for 7 days. So it's actually the little kinks they worked out of it have been really good because the first year return tags, a non-resident could pick up a resident return tag, and now it's residents get resident return tags, non-resident get non-resident return tags, and it's great for everybody. I mean, financially, it's great for NDOW because they're selling those tags multiple times.
Yeah.
But for hunters, like, don't complain about NDOW making money on it because it's a great system and a lot of people are happy with it. So it's a win-win in my book.
Yeah, and
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's a great program. Even though I haven't successfully got a tag for one yet.
Yeah.
But there's been times where I get on there and I've clicked and I'm like, I don't want to hunt that area.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Good. All right, 17. Nevada big game populations face many threats. On a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being non-important and 10 being very important, how do each of these impact Nevada's big game populations? So A is wildfires from 0 to 10. Short term?
Let's read through all of them.
Yeah, okay.
Wildfires, wild horses, predators, human development, increased OHV use off-highway vehicles, like side-by-sides hitting the landscape, drought, habitat loss from invasive plant species. It's all of them.
So it's just, you just rate them, right?
Yeah.
So each one, A, wildfire, 0 to 10, how much do wildfires impact wildlife? Well, depends on the area.
It depends on the area. Area 6 has been decimated by wildfires.
Yeah.
They suffer greatly because they're in that horrible...
That 2023 winter.
Precipitation elevation band where cheatgrass just thrives.
Yep.
So
they don't eat that.
Yeah. No. Antelope thrive in it because a lot of native grasses will come back in it. Elk actually do really well in it because a lot of native grasses do
but
well
deer
in it.
do not because of
deer.
It's not brush.
Yeah, deer. It decimates deer.
So I think it's very important.
I think it's very important.
Depending on the landscape. Wild horses,
Oh yeah, that's one of the worst.
Man, wild horse is one of the worst things I've seen.
One of the worst things because they compete with everything.
Yep, water.
Water,
Oh,
food,
man,
you
water.
name it. Like, and a horse, you're talking about a horse that's 1,200 pounds and a deer that's a big buck is 200 pounds, right? So you're talking about something that's 6 times the size. Also, horses are hindgut fermenters and deer are ruminants. So deer are like, and I know that's like scientific lingo for you, but like
Still, they need a lot.
deer are so much more efficient with their food intake, where a horse, and you've seen road apples,
Yes.
a horse's gut is just not efficient at all with food. So they eat more than 6 times the amount of a deer.
Yeah.
And I've seen them chase antelope off of water holes before.
Yeah, I've archery hunted blinds on water, and
Yeah.
the horses come in and it's game over.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. All the hunting I've done, I shot a moose in grizzly country at night, packed it out. I've hunted black bear country, lion country. I've hunted in a lot of dangerous predator country. You know, I've been attacked. I've been
Horses.
attacked twice
yeah,
while hunting. Both times were horses.
yeah, they definitely, in my opinion, they definitely need to be regulated.
Managed.
I get their, you know, there's
The
we need
landscape
to
can
keep-
only
it
support
can only
so
support
many.
them, yeah, so much. So I mean, we have to be very conscious
Yeah.
about their impact.
And you can find the horse ALM numbers, I think is what it is, and that's their management numbers that BLM sits. You can find it on BLM website. And they're doing a lot of roundups
They are,
recently, the
yeah.
last few years. But the horses have been, let me see, 12 goes into 6. They've been 500% of their management number, their maximum management number within the state.
And they've
been
spread.
500%.
Yeah, and they've spread. Like I'm starting to see them north of 80 now.
Yeah, after 2023, the horse population was, and it still might be the case today, the feral horse population in Nevada is larger than any of our game species,
Yeah.
and that's a 10 to
Yeah.
me. Like, and I'm not one of these guys that says get rid of all of them.
No,
Oh,
no.
it's like-
They have a place.
Like, they have a place in Nevada, right?
Yep.
I mean, if they were all gone, like, I'm not going to shed a tear over it, but
But
their numbers need to be dramatically reduced. We shouldn't prioritize a feral horse because it's not a wild. They were released. We shouldn't prioritize that over wild animals.
yeah. Predators, yeah, they're important.
Predators are
Predator
important to
control.
manage. Yeah,
Predator control is hugely important.
yeah. I wouldn't put it on the same level as horses.
Because they're more efficient.
Yeah, you know, I'd put predators probably a tick above wildfires because summer range, like Area 10, when it burned up at Harrison and then up Lamoille Canyon, that's a moisture band and elevation blend where cheatgrass doesn't thrive. So wildfires in summer range do a lot of good because
Yes.
that understory comes back up and that's all deer food.
Yeah, it
So,
is. Yeah.
and it's not just deer food; it's elk food. It's everything lives off that. So like summer ranges actually need to burn, like the tops of the mountains need to burn, because that'll be very much more productive for the animals. Winter ranges, when they burn, that's bad.
That's bad.
That's really bad.
Yeah. Human development, roads, housing, etc.
We are not on the same as
Yeah.
like Colorado. Colorado has a horrible problem with development.
They do. Yeah.
We're different because we're very sparse. There's hardly any water in Nevada, so we don't have a lot of cities. Like when you look at Reno, it impacts wildlife, right? Because the Truckee Meadows area and Carson Valley and all that, that used to winter a lot of deer back
It
in the
did.
day.
Yep.
Vegas, that's not really big game encroachment.
No.
Not a big deal there.
Yep.
The highways, I-80, they got the animal overpasses.
Yeah.
That's actually
It's actually
they're
helped
legit.
out quite a bit.
They've done amazing. But that's not a huge impact on our landscape, in my opinion.
Increased off-highway vehicle OHV use.
Dude, I'm one of those guys that's against side by sides.
Yeah, I know. I know.
And I know you're one of those guys that uses side by side.
I use them as a tool, man. They are.
I've been on glass and knobs where I've been looking at deer and elk. It's happened to me twice. I was looking at elk and I heard a side by side coming up the road, and I saw those elk pick up out of that meadow, run into the cedars.
Yeah.
Those side by sides drove by, and once they got out of earshot, those elk came back out and started feeding. And
Yeah.
those elk were a mile away from the road.
Oh yeah.
And then one time we were archery deer hunting, same thing, side by side coming under us. Those deer got up out of their bed. They were bedded like 500 yards off the road. Took off running, ran over the hill, dropped into the next basin, and they just chilled out as soon as they got to that basin. So
Yeah.
they
And
don't like them.
They don't like them, and I can't disagree with that. But I have also used them to my advantage.
Yeah, I mean it's that
I've used them
cost
for my
benefit,
advantage.
right?
I've used them to my advantage because I am mobile. I can't
Yeah.
get off the road, and I know that there's a big population of people that decide to stay in their side by sides.
Yeah,
To me, it's a tool to get from A to B.
yeah. There's
And
a
then
lot.
we go hunt. You know.
There's a lot of screwed up roads that you don't want to drive a pickup up. That
Yeah.
you got to drive home as well.
Yeah, but they have
So,
increased the spookiness of animals for
Yeah.
sure. Drought, yeah, big,
Huge.
very very important.
Huge.
I mean,
Yeah, we just went through like one of the driest cycles.
Yeah.
Like the last 15 years been like the driest cycle in 1,300 years.
and then just had a devastating winter in 23.
and that's the worst too. When
Yeah.
you have a 3-year horrible drought and then you just throw the hardest winter ever on top of it.
Yeah, it was really tough. Yeah, I mean, we're seeing some pretty positive comebacks now, but
Yeah,
I think in the late
Yeah.
2020s we'll see. Like
Yeah,
we'll see. Pretty, well,
2020s.
if the weather keeps doing what it's doing,
Yep.
we'll see some benefit. But,
late
but
2020s,
drought can
2030.
drought can kick you right in the teeth.
Yeah. And then we got habitat loss from invasive plants. That goes in with wildfires.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, on a huge scale, cheatgrass.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, cheatgrass is the big one. And the reason cheatgrass is so bad is like it just
Doesn't have any.
it has a quicker burn cycle. You know, sagebrush is fairly like weather burn resistant. Lightning strikes cheatgrass because cheatgrass dries out so quickly.
Yeah.
Boom. You're starting from ground zero again 3 years later.
Yeah.
And then the pinyon juniper encroachment, that's been horrible too because when
In
those catch
some
fire,
areas for sure. Yeah.
that stuff's moonscaped.
It just
when catches
gone.
on.
Yeah, it just goes.
There's nothing left to it.
Yep. All right, 18. You got it?
Yeah, I guess we better get on with this, huh? Are you in favor of the following big game hunts? Select yes or no. Antlerless elk, mule deer, bighorn sheep, it's antlerless mule deer, and horn shorter than antelope. So it's basically female elk, female mule deer, female sheep, and female antelope. Are you in favor of them?
Man, I'm in favor of antlerless elk. I am not in favor of antlerless mule deer.
Same.
I have killed a ewe in Nevada. I think the first year they let this tag out, never put in for it again.
Yeah.
Because I'm really like, we try to conserve sheep, and I get it. You know, there's numbers that need to be in check, but I don't think we really need a ewe tag.
Yeah.
Horn shorter than ears antelope. Yes, we touched a little bit on that with the youth earlier. I
Yeah.
think there's room for that.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of room for doe antelope for sure. Antlerless elk, yes, and I've touched on that too because NDOW, like there's an elk management plan that is not controlled by NDOW. It's a bunch of ranching communities
Right.
that set those numbers. So, and there's no real big time predators for elk. They're not any big time. It's like we don't have wolves
Yeah,
that
we
are
don't have
decimating
wolves,
elk herds. So I do like antlerless elk. I think there's a lot of room for that.
And there's a lot of table fare there. I mean, it's
Yeah,
and the
great.
number of tags they give out isn't that.
Yeah.
There's not a ton.
Dude, Nevada manages
Yeah,
elk
there's not a
the
ton.
best.
I mean,
the
it took
absolute
me-
best for what they have
It took
to
me
work
5 years to get my last antelope or my last antlerless elk tag.
with. Yeah, see, I'm never waiting that long.
Yeah.
I get them quick. See, sheep ewe, I'm kind of in between on that because there's a lot of famous
The disease.
sayings. There's the famous saying, sheep are born looking for a place to die.
Yeah, they're so sensitive.
They're so sensitive.
So if you get populations that are going out of control and starting to mingle with like domestics and stuff
Yeah.
like that, I get it because they carry disease
Yeah.
back.
Well, and like, so I shot a ewe on Jefferson 161 a couple years ago, and there were a bunch of sheep in there at the time, and they were giving those ewe tags out like, hey, we need to get this herd in check so disease doesn't get to them at some point. Because what'll happen, those rams will go find a domestic sheep
Yeah.
and try and breed with them right during the rut. and then they go back to their herd and infect all the other sheep.
Yeah. Sheep are weird.
This
Sheep
is
are
where
weird.
I'm kind of in favor of U-tags, because the very next year disease got into that unit and decimated that whole unit.
Oh yeah.
So now it's like you have to turn over stones to find sheep in that unit now.
I just think some of those southern units, 268, 253, you know, there's not domestic sheep around there.
Yeah.
So I mean,
some of those units are pretty.
But there's not enough waters on the feed. Like it's
Yeah.
very desolate. So I understand.
Yeah, the U-tags, I understand both aspects of it. It's like, it'd be nicer if there wasn't as much red tape and we could move the sheep around.
Yeah.
But
And there's some old ewes out there.
yeah,
If you've ever been sheep hunting down
Yeah.
south, it's
so that one I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
if it was easier to translocate them
and they're not bad. They're
Reestablish
not bad
population.
table fare.
they're
Honestly,
fantastic.
They're really good to
Yeah,
eat. So
they're great.
yeah.
So, and then antlerless mule deer. No.
No.
How many times can we say no?
Stop killing doe mule
Yeah.
deer.
Quit killing deer. Quit killing doe deer.
Yeah.
All right, 19. On years you do not draw a big game tag in Nevada, do you typically participate in any of the following activities instead? Please check all that play. Big game hunting in other states, big game hunting in Nevada with friends who drew a tag, upland game hunting in Nevada, fishing in Nevada, other, or none of these.
All the above.
All the above, and
Yeah.
waterfowl.
And waterfowl.
Dude, I'm going hunting when it's hunting season.
Yeah, I'm telling you what. Waterfowl's a little underrated in Nevada.
Because the great thing about waterfowl in Nevada, like you go to Florida, there's water everywhere, right? So you gotta
Yeah.
find ducks.
You got to find them.
In Nevada, all you gotta do is find,
Find water.
You'll find ducks.
Yeah.
Waterfowl's legit in Nevada.
Yeah, definitely go out of state. I mean, that's just if you've been hunting in Nevada, or if you live in Nevada and you're a hunter,
Yeah.
and you're waiting for a Nevada tag, don't hold your breath. I mean, it's
Yeah, just go hunt.
go hunt somewhere else.
Go share deer camp with friends, even if you don't have a tag. Take a shotgun, shoot chucker.
Yeah.
There's sage grouse. There's a lot of seasons, a lot of upland seasons, a lot of waterfowl seasons.
Yeah.
Coyotes are open year round. Jackrabbits are open year round.
Yeah, chucker in the last couple of years have been thriving.
Man.
Man, there's chucker.
Last year was
So,
great.
Yeah.
All right, question 20.
Oh yeah. When it comes to deer hunting in Nevada, which of the following statements best describes what is most important to you? A, I want to go deer hunting every 1 to 3 years. Going deer hunting regularly matters to me. B, I will wait 4 to 7 years to draw a tag if that means I can see mature deer on the landscape. C, I don't care if it takes 8 to 10 years to draw. I want to hunt the best units in the state. D, none of these statements accurately describes how I feel about deer hunting in Nevada.
We are going to start this in the next part because we're running out of time on
Okay.
the camera.
All right.
This is an
We'll pick
important
We'll
question.
pick you up on part 4.
I think that's where we're at.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.